My name is Neil Butcher, and I'm working on an initiative called OER Africa with the South African Institute for Distance Education. OER obviously stands for Open Educational Resources. So I think a story that interests me more than most at the moment is work that we've done in Malawi with the Kamuzu College of Nursing and with the Bunda College of Agriculture, because I think that what we've been able to demonstrate there really very strongly is that open educational resources is not primary, or should not primarily be about institutions building their own repositories and sharing their intellectual capital for the good of humanity. Really what it should be about is a process of investing in the design and development of effective teaching and learning environments in higher education. I think probably my greatest passion in education is trying to persuade people that investment in the design of effective teaching and learning environments and all that that means, the design of good curricula, development of teaching and learning materials, procurement of teaching and learning materials, creation of good assessment strategies, is really a fundamentally important part of university life and of the core function of universities. The unfortunate reality is that most universities don't invest properly in teaching and learning environment development, with the result that very often courses are outdated. The quality of the teaching that learners are experiencing in university is really not as good as it should be. So what was exciting about what we were doing in Malawi was that we got the opportunity to work with the faculties with two specific programs, one in agriculture and one in nursing, identifying a specific need that they had in a course each. So we just took one course to start, where the students needed access to better quality teaching and learning materials, but the university couldn't afford to supply them. And we worked with the university to understand what their curriculum needs were in each of those two courses. We then went back to South Africa and used the better quality bandwidth that we have access to in Johannesburg to trawl the internet and find existing open educational resources that might be related to that curriculum. We also communicated with universities all over the continent and the world and asked people to share what they had in those curriculum areas. We packaged all that back up again, went back to Malawi and workshopped with the academics to turn all of those existing materials into a new resource. So taking bits and pieces of the course materials that we found, adapting them to make them relevant to the curriculum, pulling them together to create new coherent resources that were specifically contextualized to the curriculum needs of Malawi. The process was actually, we think, very cost effective. It was limited time, not a lot of expense, very quick turnaround, sort of 3 or 4 months turnaround exercise. And in the College of Agriculture case, we were able, or the university was able to produce a resource guide, which is equivalent to about 200 pages, which focuses on language and literacy skills development. And now they're able to provide that resource to 300 students, 200 to 300 students a year who are taking that course in undergraduate agriculture. The exciting part about that is that that module is actually quite generic. It's not specific to agriculture. And so now, having produced the resource, and because it's entirely open, it now becomes available for all of the similar modules that are being run across the entire university. They can now take and use that resource at no extra cost. And of course, we've put it on our website, so any other university can download it, adapt it, and use it for their own purposes as well. In the case of Kamuzu College of Nursing, we had a more complex need to meet. They were interested in course materials on pre- and postnatal care. And what they really needed was video materials, because the nurses don't get access to live environment in which maternal care is taking place before they actually go into the field. So we were able to assemble a CD-based resource, which is now being used by, I think it's about 40 odd nurses who are enrolled in that program. And again, the process was not particularly expensive, but we've been able to massively improve the teaching and learning environment. Obviously, that process has been driven by the College of Nursing itself, with our support. And I think maybe the most encouraging part for me of those two stories, apart from the fact that we've done something practical that people are able to actually use and that is having a direct and immediate effect on the quality of teaching for students, is that the University of Malawi has taken so well to those processes that they now actually have asked us to help them in redesigning their ICT policy so that we can integrate some of the lessons we've learned from that into their policy environment. And not only have Kamuzu College of Nursing and Bunda College of Agriculture requested us to help them continue doing more of that kind of work in other courses and programs, we've also got interest from other colleges within the university to start doing similar things. So we've generated what we think is a kind of bottom-up interest and demand for effective use of OER, which we're quite excited about.